Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into one of the absolute most fascinating paradoxes in the entire world of personal finance. And honestly, I've tailored this one specifically for those of you right in the thick of university life, balancing classes, part-time jobs, and probably wondering what your financial future is going to look like. If you've ever stressed out just because you aren't a math genius or a finance major, you're definitely going to want to stick around for this.
Okay, let's kick things off by comparing two very real people with completely different lives. First up, we've got Ronald Read. He was a rural guy, the first in his family to graduate high school. He worked as a humble gas station attendant fixing cars for 25 years and then swept floors at JCPenney for another 17. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum, we have Richard Fuscone. Richard was a massively educated, celebrated finance executive. We're talking a Harvard MBA, an executive role at Merrill Lynch, and a guy who literally made Crane's 40 under 40 list of super successful business people.
So here's a question for you. When the massive 2008 financial crisis hit, and the dust finally settled years later, which of these two men died with a multi-million-dollar fortune, and which one lost absolutely everything? Just think about what society always tells us about education, prestige, and climbing the corporate ladder. You'd probably assume the Harvard executive came out on top, right?
Well, the crazy answer is that Ronald, the floor-sweeping janitor, was the one who had $8 million to his name, while Richard, the high-flying executive, went totally bankrupt. And the reason why this happened is perfectly broken down in our source material today, Morgan Housel's incredible book, The Psychology of Money. Housel points out something mind-blowing. In almost no other field can someone with zero formal background massively outperform the best-trained experts in the world, but in finance, it happens all the time.
And that brings us right to our core theme for today. Building wealth isn't some brutal math test that only geniuses can pass. It's actually a soft skill. It's completely driven by your daily behaviors, your temperament, and your patience. Ronald Read was endlessly patient, while Richard Fuscone got greedy. And that simple behavioral difference completely wiped out the massive education and experience gap between them.
So we really need to redefine what wealth management actually is. It's a soft skill. If you're sitting in your dorm room right now, kind of freaking out because you don't have a finance degree or fancy Wall Street connections, just take a deep breath. Ronald Read proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that everyday folks can out-earn financial wizards just by mastering their own psychology. It's literally just about managing your ego, practicing patience, and keeping greed in check.
Let's move into Section 1, Time, your greatest asset.
And here is the absolute best news for you as a university student right now. Your greatest asset isn't your major, it's not your GPA, and it's definitely not your current bank balance. It's your youth. We've all heard of Warren Buffett, right? The greatest investor of all time. But people totally miss his true secret weapon. It isn't just his stock-picking skill. It's puberty. Seriously. He started investing when he was 10 years old, and he just never stopped. His superpower is the sheer amount of time he's been playing the game.
Let's look at the math on this, because it's fascinating. If Warren Buffett had lived a normal life, spent his 20s traveling, started investing at 30, and then retired at 60 to go play golf, he'd have roughly $11.9 million today. Which, don't get me wrong, is a fantastic retirement, but it definitely doesn't make you a global household name.
But here is his actual net worth from when the source material was written. $84.5 billion. Let that sink in. That means 99.9% of Warren Buffett's financial success is tied purely to the time he let his money compound. He simply refused to interrupt the compounding process.
For us, this takeaway is ridiculously empowering. Compounding is just a behavioral endurance test, not a complex math equation. Your ability to start small today, even if it's literally just $5 a month from a campus job, and stick with it for decades, is exponentially more important than chasing crazy high returns or trying to perfectly time the market. You have the one thing that billionaire hedge fund managers cannot buy: decades of time.
All right, Section 2. Wealth is what's hidden.
This concept completely shatters everything pop culture and social media teaches us about what it means to be rich. You walk across campus or scroll through TikTok, you see people in luxury cars or wearing designer stuff, and you instantly think, wow, they've got money. But the only actual hard fact you know when you see someone driving a $100,000 car is that their bank account is now $100,000 lighter than it was yesterday. Or, even more likely, they're buried in $100,000 of debt.
You really have to understand the difference here. Being rich is a current, highly visible state. It's spending money just to show other people you have money. True wealth, though, is completely hidden. Wealth is the money you don't spend. It's the unbought cars, the unpurchased watches. Wealth is what actually gives you future options, total flexibility, and the freedom to pivot in life whenever you want.
Moving on to Section 3, the Student's Playbook. Let's talk about 3 practical habits you can start right now.
Getting into the actionable stuff, here are 3 simple steps pulled right from the book. Step 1, save without a specific goal. Step 2, make a plan for unexpected income. And Step 3, manage your ego. This is your personal playbook for financially outperforming the so-called finance bros over your lifetime. Let's break these down.
Habit 1, save just to save. Usually you hear people say, oh, I'm saving for a car or I'm saving for a trip. But Housel argues you actually don't need a reason. As a student, you're saving to buy yourself options. You're buying room for error. Look, life is going to throw curveballs at you. A busted laptop, an unexpected medical bill, a sudden move. Having savings without a specific goal gives you the absolute superpower to handle those shocks without your whole life derailing.
Next up, habit 2, plan for windfalls. In behavioral finance, this is called mental accounting. Whenever you get unexpected cash, like a tax refund, a graduation gift, or an extra shift at work, it feels like free money, right? And usually it just vanishes into impulsive spending. The trick is to have a strategy ready. Promise yourself right now that when surprise money hits, you'll automatically route 50% straight to savings and then go have fun with the other 50%. Automate it so your emotions don't hijack your wallet.
And habit 3, lower your ego. Honestly, this might be the single most profound point in this entire explainer. Saving money is literally just the gap between your ego and your income. No matter how much you end up earning after graduation, whether it's 50 grand or 500 grand a year, you will never build true wealth unless you can put a lid on how much lifestyle you try to buy today just to impress strangers. Less ego equals more wealth. Period.
Finally, Section 4, money buys you time.
Why are we doing all of this? Why manage our egos and aggressively save? It all comes down to this one idea. The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do whatever I want today. Wealth isn't about hoarding cash like a dragon. And it's definitely not about buying massive, unpayable mansions like Richard the bankrupt executive did. It's entirely about taking control of your own time. Having authority over your schedule is the absolute highest dividend that money pays.
So as you close out of this and head back to your classes, I want you to think about Ronald Read, that humble janitor who quietly built an $8 million empire just by being patient. You possess the exact same incredible asset of time right now. So the question I want to leave you with is this: will you use your greatest asset to buy a flashy, stressful life today? Or will you manage your behavior right now to buy a completely free life tomorrow? The choice is 100% up to you.